I can fit in here. In the mountains near the Salt and Verde rivers is a hidden history dating back to the 1800s and further. Look at these caution signs painted on the road. Watch for horses. Here it is again. And that is because this area is home to the descendants of the Spanish Mustangs who first came here with Cortez in the early 1500s. Today we're visiting the location of an old lime kiln, tucked away in the mountains. We're pulling into the Blue Point Recreation Site parking lot just off Bush Highway, right alongside the Salt River. It's 5:45 in the morning, and a lot of times there are horses right here where we're at, but it doesn't look like they're here today. They're usually crossing through the river. This area is known for animals crossing through the river. In fact, it's called the Sheep's Bridge Crossing Area. We're going to have to hike a couple miles to get to where we're going, and as we do, we're just going to follow this trail along the north side of the river, keeping that mountain right on our right side. We're just going to hug right between the mountain and the river until that mountain opens up into a valley area with a nice little beach. Taking a quick stop here. Behind us to the east is where the water flows from. Upstream where you'll find Salt River Canyon, Roosevelt Lake. Right now we're in the area called Lower Salt River, and the river only flows for a couple more miles till it hits Granite Reef Dam. At that point, the water is integrated with the larger Salt River Project and Central Arizona Project canal systems. Been hiking for a little while here. I can tell I'm getting really close to the end of the mountain area, and soon it's going to dump me off into a wash right next to a beach. This area of the river just sort of meanders through here and makes a couple big turns, and it creates some nice beach areas. Some sandy beaches, some pebble beaches. You can see people already out here really early in the morning, April in the desert, already enjoying it. And just as we come around this side of the mountain on our right, it should dump us right in there. Here we are. Sheep herders would find themselves at this point after navigating through the mountain valleys. Here's where they could allow the sheep to cross without too much risk of getting drowned. Now right now the water's real nice and slow, but it's also managed by dams upstream and downstream. Back then, the river was much more unpredictable, and those bridges were really a necessity. I believe one bridge originally washed out in the 1920s and another one in the 1960s. From here you can really see how mountainous this whole area is. It's just surrounded with mountains and rivers and desert washes running through the valleys. In fact, the next step of our journey is going to be following one of those desert washes through a mountain valley to an area where that lime kiln is tucked away. That beach we were just standing on, it's actually the very wash we're going to follow north to get there. Beaches out here aren't made from rushing waters and waves crashing into the banks. They're usually made like this. Sand and dust and dirt that has all come from the mountains with different storms rushing the water through, bringing it into these valleys and ultimately dumping it into the river, leaving us with somewhat of a little beach there. As we start our second half of the hike, we're going to be heading north up this desert wash here, keeping an eye out not to step in any horse poop. Might even run into a horse here, as these wild horses are known for being in this valley. Word of advice: don't do a hike like this during monsoon season or if there's any rain forecasted, especially anywhere north of here. You don't want to be down here when water comes rushing through. Just look at how it turns all those rocks over. I just noticed something up here. It's not really a cave, but do you see that tiny little hole up there at the top? It's higher than it looks. I might have to climb up to check it out. Okay, let's see what we got here. It looks like some flowers and like a Virgin Mary or something. It's kind of hard to tell. I've got a backpack on and I don't really want to climb all the way up there. I'm holding my arm as high as I can get just to get the video here. Kind of weird, eerie. Someone obviously just having fun. We're starting to come up on some limestone mountains and boulders you can see here on our left and our right. There's some horse poop. Hopefully we'll see one of those soon. You can see sections of the rock that looks like it's been cut out of the mountain on the left. Over here also, you can see down there a bunch of area that's been cut out. We'll check that out in a moment because I believe the kiln is immediately to our right, built into this big lime rock hill here. You see that little hole back there? And then the bricks making the chimney up at the top. This kiln was used to burn limestone for days on end to break it down into a powder. It's pretty high up there. Taller inside than it looks like from the outside, actually. As I'm getting out of here, I feel like I look like this guy I found a picture of here. This is what these kilns usually looked like back then. A lot of similarities, about the same height, built into the side of a mountain or a hill, made using the local resources available. It really is cool from the inside. You can see all the stones that they use to make the bricks. This thing's made out of the very limestone that they were packing in here and burning. And they were using it, in this particular case, for the gold mining operations going on around here. They needed that lime powder to somehow mix in with the smelting process and get the gold extracted from the ore. But here's the thing. The gold mines aren't right here. The gold mines are quite a ways from here. And the only reason that they would burn this stuff right here is because it was easier. It was a lot less work, actually, to just burn it all right here, get the powder that they need, and load all that powder up on the back of wagons and take that powder through these valleys. And since this is where the limestone is at, this is right where they burned it. The quicklime powder that they produced was used for the Goldfield mines. Just on the other side of the wash from the kiln, you could really get a good idea for how much of the limestone they were pulling out of here. This was probably one big massive boulder at some point, and now it's just rubble with holes in it left over from the dynamite sticks or whatever they were using out here. You could just imagine 1800s blowing these things up, stuffing it in that kiln, and then camping out here for a couple days while it all burns down. I know we've seen a lot of horse poop like we see on the ground right in front of us, and as cool as it would be to encounter one out here, we at least got to see one on the way back. As we were heading back right by the parking lot, these horses were everywhere. I think he's telling me to go away. Have you ever found an old kiln or an old piece of the mining history out in the mountains like this? Or ever seen a wild horse in person? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for coming along today. I'm Rich, and this is Relic Roads. See you on the next one.